Hey, 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 everybody. We're back. Some of you were with us last Saturday. Some of you got real lucky because you couldn't come last Saturday, and now you're here. So welcome. Today we are going to talk about a new product, a familiar product, and Phil is going to show you some really great, predictable techniques that he has developed and uses on a daily basis to make really beautiful PMMA prototypes. And we're going to mainly focus, almost exclusively focus on full arch implant cases. So I'm Tay Harvey, and I'm from anaxdent North America. If some of you, I know I saw the names on the list, I recognized a lot of the names, so I know a lot of you are familiar with me already. But if you're not familiar with me or the company, we are based in Ardmore, Oklahoma, little town, Oklahoma, and we import the best products we can find from Europe and sell them in the United States. So today we are going to talk about a new product, and actually a new product line. We have a new product line coming from anaxdent Germany, the anaxcam line of CAD/CAM discs. And today we're going to focus on the first kind of premier product from that line. It's called anaxcam the show. The whole line will consist of anaxcam, the base for denture bases, and that's going to be color anaxgum composite, so that's pretty cool. We're going to have a couple different colors of premium wax. It's a harder wax for large span bridges and just larger cases. We're going to have a crystal clear PMMA called anaxcam the guide, and then what we're talking about today is the show. It's a 10-layer super wear resistant PMMA. And when I say super wear resistant, we developed it in line with being competitive with the wear resistance of highly filled denture teeth. So when you look at the Vickers hardness of the show, 250 megapascals, that actually beats a lot of premium denture teeth in hardness. And after 1 million cycles, only 115 microns of wear, which is about 1.5 human hair. So it's really little. The surface hardness is 87 Shore. If you've seen kind of buzz about graphene infused PMMA, it matches that. So the premium raw materials used and the process to make the discs have resulted in a really dense result. The flexural strength is over 100 megapascals. They're testing it now to really dial in just how much over, and they're looking at like 120. So it's a pretty strong material. Bill is also going to talk about anaxgum pink composite. That's something he uses daily in his lab. I know a lot of you on the webinar today are already familiar with that product, but if you're not, it's a really smart system of really natural pink shades. And it consists of pastes, flows, and some paints. So it's really a pleasure for me to welcome Phil Reddington today to share his expertise with us. Phil is an owner of his own lab in Leeds, UK, Beaver Dental Technology. And I will turn it over to Phil. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Tay. Thank you for that. Hello, everybody. We had some technical issues last time, but we've checked everything out today and we're looking like we're good to go today. So no technical issues. Yeah, just adding on to what Tay was saying, thanks for anyone who did join last time and has come back again. You're gluttons for punishment, you know. I know my accent's not so easy to understand, so maybe you've got a translator this time to help you with my my lingo. But I'm going to go through a few different things today, but I just really am very excited about this new product, and I've been lucky enough to have it in the lab now since probably maybe the very end of last year, or at least the very earliest part of this year.
Yeah, and you're lucky because I'll say really quick, I forgot to mention one key thing, not to disappoint anybody. The inventory's starting to just trickle in here. We're planning for a launch next month. So okay. You have a little bit here and there, but you've been able to use it quite a bit longer than we've had it available here.
Yeah, I mean, and literally straight away within, as soon as I started using it, I felt it was something a little bit special and different, and to the point that I just run out of it faster than Andy can supply it. You know, I'm always on the phone saying, I need more discs, and he's like, just be patient, be patient. It's just been it's just been a really great product. And sometimes products come along and you think, oh, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with this. And it was a bit like that when I opened up my Annex care package from Andreas, and he's like, oh, hey, English guy, I've got some stuff for you to try. And I looked and I thought, we've got multi-layered PMMA, you know, what's this? Anyway, so he rung me and said, Phil, just try it, you'll really like it. And I did. As soon as I saw it in the mill, even inside the mill, it was powder instead of like these, you know, little flakes that you get when you mill in PMMA. And I thought, this looks different. It cut really cleanly. There was no, you know, sticking or anything like that, like you can get in a dry mill with PMMA, because that's what I'm milling in, a roll and dry mill. So straight away I was thinking, oh, this is different. And then when I started touching it with my hands and cutting it with my burrs, like straight away I started thinking, yeah, I do really like this. It's a good product. It's better than what we're using. And I thought we were using some great materials, but yeah, it just straight off the bat. And anyone who knows me knows that I never talk about stuff that I don't use and I don't like. I don't believe in talking about anything unless you truly believe in it, and that's why I'm happy to do these talks, because I do believe in this product. Like I say, when it came straight out of the mill, this was the first arch that I milled with it, and it was perfect. It was just like, look, I don't really need to do much to this, and already just the straight, you know, there's no camera trickery on any of the photographs that I take. It's a camera thing in my hand, camera in my hand, take a photo, upload it, and this is how it looks. You can already see it's a nice graduation of color in that milled arch. And I straight off the bat, I was just like, yeah, this is definitely different. So I was very happy about the fact that it was easy to clean the mill out as well. Or certainly Nathan at the lab, who does all the milling, he was very happy about it. And then I don't, like I always say when I do talk about anything, is I never accept anything out of a mill out of a tooth card without putting my own little touch to it. You know, we've got tooth libraries, we've got tooth cards, we've got all sorts of different things that we can just take and use, and they look fine. But then, you know, we're all doing the same thing. And I always like to just give my restorations my own personal touch. And sometimes that's asking for trouble, especially with some PMMAs. You can start to try give more separation interdentally, you know, with a diamond wheel or whatever, and all of a sudden you slip and you've ruined the case. So some people want to not do that, but I always like to. So this was another bonus of using this material. I found it so much easier to control my diamond discs and burrs on. And on that picture on the left of your screen, you can see that the right hand side of that arch is straight out of the mill, and then the left hand side is where I've taken a couple of burrs, a diamond disc, and like just a normal tungsten burr, and just give it like 10-15 minutes of just grinding. Not even that much really, probably 10 minutes max of just grinding and polishing, you know, just to shape it up a little bit better. And then,
well, and I know you mentioned to me that one of the things that saves you time on this is that your burrs aren't gumming up like they
exactly, yeah
products you've been using before.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're doing like screw retained and you're trying to drill a hole, you know, maybe widen a hole to get to that screw or whatever, that you put some PTFE over the top of, and sometimes it sticks. Or even on printed materials, what I find is if I'm not careful, bits shatter off. Whereas this, it just seems to be easy to cut. So it's a lot better. It's a lot better in that respect for me. I can be a little bit more gung-ho with it, you know, I'm quite clumsy at times, you know. Anyone who's seen me build up ceramic knows that it just goes everywhere and somehow it ends up looking okay, but it's, you know, I'm definitely not an artist. But yeah, so this is, again, just another shot straight off the camera, and this is not polished or anything, it's just my surface texture just cut in and just simple burr work on this one side of the arch, and you can see the difference between out the mill and then, you know, 5-10 minutes of, you know, handwork on it, and it already starts to look really great. At this point, I got curious and I thought, right, this just looks amazing, this stuff. So I got some clear OptiGlaze, you know, the very thick one, the Like-Cure, yeah. I just got some of that and painted it on one half and cured it just to see what it looked like. And I thought, wow, this really is starting to look great, really looking wicked. So what I did then was this is the good thing about this material. You don't need to use any OptiGlaze. You don't need to use any luster paint, you know, the Like-Cure luster paints or anything like that. I ground all this straight back off and I did both sides of the arch. and I just polished it then on the lathe. So this is pure polished on a lathe. So that was a soft bristle brush with some just standard denture pumice across all the teeth. And then I used like your standard polishing mop with some polishing compound on there. That was it. So no glazes, no stains, no trickery, just the pure material from the lathe. 20 minutes work with a burr and then polished in a matter of seconds. And that's what you get. That's what it looks like. And for me, I just thought, oh, this is right up my strasser, because I hate having to do loads of messing around to make stuff look beautiful. Everything that I do is simple and quick, but without without making the end result worse. I always want to give a good end result, but I don't want to have to spend all day getting there.
Yeah.
And this fits perfectly in, because what I was finding when I'm printing stuff, I get the perfect detail and I get the perfect representation of what I've designed, but the printing materials don't look as nice. You have to spend quite a long time, again, getting the composite stains out and making, and I've seen some people do amazing things with printed materials, but it's just, I don't have that skill, and it's just not in my mindset to spend a couple of hours staining up something when I could just spend 10 minutes grinding it and 2 minutes polishing it, and I get the same result as I would with all that staining. So again, it's back down to just being one material as well. There's nothing can delaminate because you're just polishing it. So it just fits into my psyche of how I work and how I like to produce restoration. So I was really excited at this point, and I was sort of thinking, oh, I'm just going to send Andy a quick photo and see what he thinks. And I said, this is the new stuff.
The photo.
Yeah, am I allowed to swear? I don't know. We swear a lot when me and Andy talk. We swear a lot, and there was he said some very passionate, nice.
But they were positive swear words. That's
positive swear words, yeah. So I was really pleased with it, and I was showing, because I've got some really good ceramics working for me. It's 3 really, really fantastic ceramics, and I always say I'm the worst ceramist in the lab, And I showed the guys this, and they were like, "You are kidding? This is PMMA?" And I said, "Yeah, I just polished." And they were like. I would love to build up like an A1 or a bleach shade with just that level of translucency. It's so hard to do that in ceramic. So it was like, that
brings up a point that we get questions a lot when we're putting out really beautiful materials. At anaxdent, they don't put anything out that's not like top-notch gorgeous.
Yeah.
So when we first started telling people, hey, this is coming, they're like, it's just a temp. If it's not final material, it doesn't need to look like this. So you obviously invest some time in making your temps look great.
Yes.
I understand that's a personal thing, but what are some of the reasons for your business that has been important and why you invest that time?
Okay, I will try move on to that very, very quickly. I'll go through the stages of how I got to this. I'll answer that question in these slides today, so I'll just move on with that. But yeah, as soon as I'd finished doing that, all I had to do then was prepare the facial tissue area and then just layer some anaxgum. And I will go through the stages of the anaxgum layering. And I just wanted to show as well that, when you've got material that you've polished, it's difficult then to create that bonding area, the way you're going to put the composite or any stains, especially these interdental areas. And I just love this machine for doing that. I use the Aquacare machine all the time with the Cosil Lab material in it and alcohol with IPA in it, 99%. So I'm cleaning and blasting at the same time. But it's just without this machine, I wouldn't have been able to get to the point where I can get interdentally and clean those areas out. I'll quickly go through the steps of the layering, and then I will get to that question about why it's important for me to have good provisionals. So I'll go back. When I have done the preparation of the area, the blasting of the material, put some PMMA primer on there, I go straight on with the stains from anaxdent. They're not actually in the gum kit, those S-color stains, but they are separate set. The only ones that I use are yellow, orange, choco, and brown. I don't use any of the other ones out of that kit. So they're the only ones I really need. But then once I've done that, I go straight down with the orange pink on the interdentals. Then, oops, go too fast. Dark pink paste. Again, these are all pastes. I don't use the flows really at all. dark pink on the areas at the base of the restoration, and I drag that up in between the teeth to meet the orange pink. Then I will cover everything with light pink, and at this point I haven't really started doing my topography of the gum. It's just like a flat layer everywhere just to get those different colors coming through, and then I'll start doing some of my effects. So just use like a perio probe that's I've stuck into an old tool that I got from my Naoki, and I use that to put some scratches in, and on the right hand side of the screen you can see those scratches, and I've just put some red paint in those scratches, and then I cure that. And I cure at every stage. So I cure the papilla, then I cure the dark pink, then I cure the light pink with the scratches and the red over it. Then I'll go back and start doing this the main shaping of the arch. And then I use like an old cut down ceramics brush that I just use stippling as a stippling tool. And all my composite modeling's done with the Optrasculpt from It's a fantastic tool. Without it, I couldn't really get the results. I got that photos blurred. I didn't realize that before. It's bad. I'll get a better one. But yeah, brown in between just to give a little bit of depth in those teeth, because this is one solid arch, and I think without putting some little bits of colour in there, sometimes brown might not be the one that you want to use for bleach cases, but for certain cases definitely. And it just
gives more depth.
Yeah, absolutely. It gives more depth. It just breaks up that pink white border as well, just that little bit more. And then once I've done that, I cure everything in the Optrasculpt, and I'll do the not Optrasculpt, auto flash. So I'll cure everything in my auto flash without the gas, and then for the final cure I'll cure with the gas, and I'll show this machine as well and what it does. And then once I've done the gas cure, then I can just glaze that again with anything, and that's generally the GC glazes that I use these days. They just work really well. And there's lots of studies out there with the GC glazes as well, showing how they are good for wear resistance and stuff like that. So I do use those a lot. And this is the machine that I do all my curing in. It's called the Auto Flash, and it's by NK Optics. And
you're the reason that we started selling this machine, and everybody that has gotten it has absolutely said it's a game changer. Like the amount saving is crazy.
Absolutely. Well, we had it for ages for the printed models, and not so much for the models, but for surgical stents and things like that. So that's why you have to have the nitrogen chamber. And I was on there, and something went off in my head, and I thought, we used to have, I don't know, maybe 25 years ago, a system called Bell Glass, and that had a nitrogen chamber in it. And I remember that we never used to have sticky composite when we cured in it. So I just thought, I wonder if it worked for that. And so I just put some pink composite in there, cured it, and it was like rock hard, totally cured, no sticky. It was the best cured composite I'd seen. So straight away I was like, okay, I'm going to start using this. So I did start then using it. So all my composite stages, I don't use the gas. The final cure before I glaze, I use the gas with 1,000 flashes, and then when the optic glaze and the luster paints, they go on again with gas. And then you don't ever need to use glycerin. You don't have to cure in water. You don't have to clean anything. You don't have to. It's just, you never touch these things with a burr. You're just basically shaping your composite until you like it. Then you cure it, and then you cure it properly with the gas, and it's perfect. It really does work. And that's the sort of finish that you get. Just cured. You don't have to do any cleanup at all. And again, this is the Show PMMA disc, and this was on a full arch implant case, and it was going on a bar like this. And if I'm doing a long-term one, so for instance, this was actually a final, this lower case, so that's not getting replaced. That's gone in as a permanent arch on this patient that we had in Manchester. So because I wasn't aware of how strong it was and what we'd be able to do with it, I don't like to take risks with things. I like to try use my brain and what I feel the material is going to be like. So what I did was I put a titanium frame underneath it, and then cemented the Show to the top of the titanium frame, and it worked really well. Obviously we've had all the COVID situation and things like that in the meantime, so I haven't got any photographs of this. The patient's not been back to the dentist because it's not due for a scheduled maintenance or anything like that just yet. The dentists over in the UK are absolutely swamped with people needing emergency care because everything was shut for 3 months in the UK. You couldn't even get a tooth pulled out, so it was crazy for a while. So anything that's not an emergency at the moment or isn't routine scheduled restorative doesn't get time. So at the moment I'm still waiting for a lot of follow-ups, but yeah, the patient loved it and the clinician loved it as well.
I do have a great question that I'm really glad was just asked. How do you design in thickness do you put any opaque on that metal frame? How much do you put? Do you design in a cement gap, extra cement gap to make
I don't use any opaque. All I did was, so I blasted it with the Aquacare, so with the Cosil Lab, and then I anodize it, then I just clean it, and then I just cement over the top of it. Okay. So I don't use any opaque.
Good to know.
The anaxgum pink has got such a great level of opacity. It blocks out pretty much anything, and you've already got a few millimeters of the show there in front. Then you've got the anaxdent pink composite. It doesn't show through, especially if it's been anodized. And if it's designed properly, your bar, and there's enough space in front of it for your frame, then for your outside skin, then it's not a problem. It's not an issue at all. Never opaque.
What would be your minimum thickness, do you think, on the facial for the PMMA?
I would say you're looking at probably about 2 mil is the minimum. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to go a bit thicker because it's obviously it's going to be a better result in terms of you've got less chance of things happening. You've got less chance of show through and things like that. And also the other thing, the good thing, and again, I'm not like kissing anaxdent's ass here. I just love anaxgum because you don't have to stack loads of pink on to get the result. I see some cases where they've had to cut their dentures or whatever back so far, and they're putting like 4 or 5 mils of composite.
Yes, it doesn't take that.
It makes no sense for me to cut away a solid material and then layer a load of composite on it when you can just do a thin layer, and that's what anaxgum gives you. That's why I don't like the other composites as much.
Yeah. So, yeah. Hey, what cement did you use? I also had that question.
This will have been Ivoclar here. I pretty much just use the HO, which is bright white cement. It's for high opacity, a hybrid abutment cement. I'll use that, or occasionally I also use the GC Chem Link Ace, and the opaque one. But it'll be one of those two, whichever one I picked out of the fridge first. So yeah, they're both fantastic cements. Both work really well. Yeah.
We have one more question, but I know what's coming in your presentation, and I really want people to see your technique to do the try-ins with product, and it looks amazing. So you're putting composite on for the pink. It's the anaxgum composite if you join late, but I'll let you show them what you do for a quicker approach to try-ins.
Yeah, sure thing. Okay, so the simple technique. So again, I was using more printed stuff because it's just easier to finish for a try-in, but we have started now, especially when we get VIP customers that really want to be have that patient journey where everything is just a premium product, whether it's whether it's having 3 dental technicians in the room when they're having their implants placed, and they're 3 dentists in there with us today. You're talking about a full team in that room when they get the teeth taken out and their prototypes put in, the original. Wow. Right to the point where they want to have so many spare bridges just in case anything goes wrong. So they've got like one in each country that they live in or whatever. There's that sort of. Yeah, well, we're in Europe, so it's easy to. Well, it used to be ezy to do that.
Yeah.
Everyone in Europe's got a place in Spain or France. Yeah, except me. No, I've not. But yeah, but yeah, so we want to give that patient the best, and again, this is the thing that I was finding, and I was literally talking about this to a technician called Ben Eade this morning, he's always on Facebook, a fantastic technician, and he was talking about his try-ins, and and wanting to do better try-ins and asking, can he get some of this anaxgum? Because he's found the same thing that I found when we switched to printed, and the less we spent ages doing like optic layers and stuff to make them look really like teeth. And for a try-in that's just going in for like maybe a half an hour so that the patient can just check and the dentist can check the function's right and the teeth are in exactly the right place and there's no lisping and things like that. So you need to spend all this time on it. So a lot of us started pulling back and thinking, we'll print it, put a bit of pink stain on it and send it out and we'll just assess it that way. And that was fine, but then what we found when we came to do the final bridges, the patients said, I liked that try-in, and it was just like a monolithic, no layering in it, no translucency. So we were then getting requests for, you know, super expensive bridges with individual crowns on them that just wanted like BL2 with no gradation in it at all. So it was like, well, you know, why have they got that in the head from going from a beautiful denture that they've been wearing for a year when they had the teeth taken out, and they try this try-in for like 30 minutes and now all of a sudden they want that. So I was thinking we got to start giving them try-ins that are more realistic. That's why again now I've gone back to doing these try-ins with these materials, because it just looks good straight away without me having to spend ages making it look good. And one of the things we do really quickly is just to give the pink effect. So we've got
about 5 minutes, Phil, just FYI.
Okay, yeah, so I'll fly through this. So we've got this, so we've got a thingy like this. We've got the show polished, ready to go. I just use the anaxdent red paint, and this is super quick. I'll show you this video.
Okay, so this is a really
you when you told me.
try-in. So if I'm sending a case out, we want to do like a try-in, but the patient's not wearing it as a provisional. All I use is the red paint from anaxdent, and after I've just treated the surface of the PMMA with the Acrylic system using composite lab, I just paint
If you still sandblasted it.
really nice,
Yeah.
colours really easy, and just gives it
Just with Corsil Lab, then
simple sort of pink.
I don't even PMMA prime it for a try-in. I just go straight on with it.
Really?
Yeah,
A little bit thicker in places as well.
And do you glaze it after you cure it?
Don't need to. It comes out glazed itself. Does the red paint straight out.
Because you're using the auto flash. So here's the thing. I don't think this is possible without the auto flash.
No.
I don't think it is, because if you use cover gel on the paints, they get funky. Like
Yeah.
you have to have a nitrogen curing tank to do this.
You need to cure it in a nitrogen atmosphere. And again,
There's an auto flash.
in my dirty auto flash that gets used all the time.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I can't believe how good that looks. And it's just anaxgum red paint.
Pull this out, that's just a red paint, no sticky,
It's shiny and glazed already.
So that for me is perfect.
So that's
So simple, so no time consuming at all.
It's super quick. So for a try-in, I mean, that was a bit of a messy one. That try-in there, I did that super quick. And look, I didn't even go towards the back of the teeth. But again, and this is going back to using the material and looking at that. On the left there, you've got the try-in that was tried in for 20, 30 minutes in surgery. Everything was perfect with it. So now we want to recreate that, and then we go to the final bridge on the right, and there's no difference between the two. And also, because we've used a good material, we've got that translucency already in the material, so we can put that into our final bridges without the patients then going, I wanted it all one color. Which some patients will always want that. But I think if you show them what's possible, you're educating the patient. And if you just give them like plain white, then, you haven't given them the option to see that you can still make something look natural and beautiful and put some life in it. And I think that's really important. And quickly, we just do temporaries with it as well. This one done with Miles Reed Cohn over in Maine. Again, just a patient, just needed some long-term temporaries. She's going to be in these for at least a year. And straight out of the mill, polished on the front four. This is a 10-unit bridge, polished on the front four, and then optic layers on the canine's back just to make it a little bit more natural. And I think what a fantastic result with a just pure PMMA, no layering, no optic layers other than on the posteriors. I think it just works so well. So take home message: make your life easy. work smarter, not harder. Buy the good products that maybe cost you a little bit more, but make your life a lot easier, and then go and enjoy your life, and don't be spending all the day trying to, you know, do the impossible when there's already products out there that make the impossible a lot easier, you know. It's not, no one dies if we do it wrong. You know, your health is important. It's important to spend time with your families and your friends, and not just spend all day at the lab. It's Friday. I've not been into the lab today. I've been chilling at home, and I'm already drinking a beer, and my daughter's going to be walking through the door any moment, and I get to play with her. And we're 20 past 3 in the afternoon on a Friday, and I've not even been in the lab. That's what we want to be aiming for, people, not killing ourselves at a bench for no reason.
That's right.
So yeah, so now that's it. Friday, everyone go home.
Thank you so much, Phil. I appreciate it. Thank you for testing the product and really showing us what it can do.
Yeah.
Guys, it's going to be available next month. Like I said, inventory is already trickling in. I think the orders that we got after your lecture on last Saturday have already been shipped as of yesterday. So
perfect.
We're having fun with it. Thank you, everyone.
It does the bleach shade and the A1 shade are the two ones that are my favorite. They just look amazing. So bleach and A1 are the killers. Yeah.
Hey, one more question before I think we have to go. Is there any problem adding acrylic to it? I know it's a really dense PMMA, but there wouldn't be any issue adding acrylic, correct?
Well, if you can add composite to it, I'm sure you can add acrylic to it. If you just use a PMMA primer, and it'll be fine. Yeah,
you could just brush with monomer, but you could go the extra step of the PMMA primer, which is just concentrated monomer. So
yeah, absolutely. No problem at all with it. No. And the composite does stick to it, believe me, because I've ground through it on the diamond wheel test again, and yeah, it doesn't start pinging off. It sticks, so it's good.
One last question. Do you know, are you ordering from Anaxdent Germany in the UK, or can you get it from a UK dealer?
Yes, we get it direct from the Anaxdent website.
Okay.
There is no UK dealer at this moment in time for Anaxdent. So there hasn't been for 2 years. So so I just email the guys in Germany, and it comes pretty much next day, unless it's out of stock. And there's no extra charges. There's no stupid import duties at the moment. So it comes usually within 24 hours, and the delivery fee is the same as if it came from an English supplier. So yeah, it's never a problem.
In the US.
Plus you get some sweets thrown in the package from the guys in Germany, and the occasional bottle of beer comes with it as well. So that's always a bonus. But yeah, actually, if anyone from Anaxdent Germany is listening, I haven't had any beers recently. Come on, guys.
Beer. We don't ship beers in America, but we might do some candy. Go get some sticks.
Yeah. Well, my daughter Martha calls. I call Andreas Willy Wonka, and now Martha does think he genuinely is Willy Wonka, because she's always getting candy in the Anaxdent packages. Okay.
And then I know we've got some other questions that I will answer after the fact. The auto flash, we can get more information. If you guys go to anaxdentusa.com/labdayonline, all the products that Phil talked about today are on that page. They're all at special pricing because of the LMT Lab Day Online right now. You can also go to LMT Lab Day Online booth, and you'll see information about the products there. So send us a message. You can direct message us from our booth. Get in touch with us.
Awesome.